Welcome to eFit30.com.au. We care about the health of our exercising mums. If you feel an excessive shortness of breath during this workout, chest pain, uncomfortable uterine contractions, a gush of fluid, dizziness or faintness, our advice is to stop immediately and get it checked out. Remember also to avoid warm, humid days, holding your breath while working out, exercising on your back after the 4th month, and keep that water bottle handy. Let's get started.
Hi, I'm Kelly from Babes on the Run. And I'm the trainer today, and we'll be taking you through a workout with Hayley on your first 6 weeks after you've had your baby, 0 to 6 weeks. I would recommend you have this workout if you've had a vaginal birth. If you've had a cesarean, it's probably best to wait a little bit longer, but this is a good workout to start with when you come back into exercise. So we're going to start straight away. Hayley's going to do some squats for us with a medicine ball, and she's going to do 15 squats. So with her squats, she's going to relax through the shoulders, natural curves in her spine, keeping her knees to the front, toes to the front, and she's going to pop her bum out like she's going to sit on a chair that's 1 metre behind her. So off she goes. Same for you, 15 squats at a time. Perfect timing. So try and keep in time with Hayley as well. So what I'm going to talk about while she's doing her squats is a little bit about the training. So when you first had the baby, you might think that it's probably not a good idea to do any exercise, but it is good as long as you're feeling well within yourself to do some exercise when after you've had the baby. So what I want you to do now with the squats is to breathe in on the way down, breathe out on the way up. Just remember that, keeping those knees out in line with your toes. Good. And Hayley's going to tell us how many we've got to go. How many have we got, Hayley? 4 to go. Fantastic. So just 2 more. Last one. Fantastic. So we've just got a 1 kilo medicine ball that we use there. You can also use your baby or a bag of rice if you need to. And next one we're going to do is for your back. We're going to strengthen through. So we're going to use the band. You can wrap the band around a pole or a tree if you like. There you go. Or Hayley's going to use me today. So what she's going to do is have her shoulders back and down, chest out, bring her shoulder blades back and squeeze her shoulder blades together. One thing I want you to try and work on is turning your pelvic floor on and bringing your belly button into your spine. Perfect. So these exercises are quite easy going today. We're not going to put you through too much of a rigorous workout, because the one thing I want you to remember is that you're going through a lot at the moment. Your baby might not be sleeping, and it's best to rest where you can. So if you can do these exercises, put them into your routine. Otherwise, leave it a couple of weeks and see how you're going then. The ones we do on the floor, you can do pretty much 24 hours after a vaginal birth, as long as everything went okay while you were pregnant. 3 to go. Perfect. So remember, shoulder blades together and breathing. Remember to breathe. Good work. Okay, we're going to move into a push-up on the fit ball. So we're going to need the fit ball on the mat. So Hayley's going to come down onto the mat, onto her front. We're going to use the fit ball, and you're going to be putting your hands on the fit ball. The reason we do this is it's a stability exercise. We're using the stability ball. It's also good for working your core while you're doing your push-up. So when you're doing your push-ups, I want you to think about pushing your chest out, bringing your shoulder blades together, keeping nice and tight through the abdominal region, tucking your bum in, shoulders down. Perfect. So we're going to go off for 15 now. Breathe in, breathe out. After giving birth, you don't want to do a lot of abdominal exercises as such, so no crunches and things like that. The reason being, you can get separation in your abdominals while you're pregnant, so the core exercises will help bring that separation back together. But later in the workout, I will show you how you can test if you have had separation in your abdominals, and if you have, what's best for you to do. But we'll also do a lot of work on pelvic floor as well, because for obvious reasons, the pelvic floor's had a lot of pressure on it. But even if you've had a cesarean birth, most of the pressure happens during the last stages of the birth, rather than during the actual labour. Perfect. Good work. All right, we're going to come standing up again and moving into a shoulder press. The reason we do this exercise is it's really good for your shoulders, getting used to carrying the baby. So we're going to use the medicine ball today. Hayley's just going to be perfect posture, natural curves in her spine, tucking her pelvis under, belly button into her spine, shoulders down. just pressing the ball straight over your head and back down. You can obviously do this one with your baby when they're old enough and they can support themselves. So it's a good one to interact with your baby with as well. And you know you do throw them up in the air a little bit when they give them a bit of a laugh and stuff like that. So you're doing 15 of these. Breathe out on the way up, in on the way down. One thing I want you to make sure you take a note of, so preferably if you can do this in front of a mirror, just to make sure you're not swaying your back. So making sure you've got your lower abs on, nice and tight, and your pelvic floor's on. So that's perfect, Hayley. How's it feeling? Good. Working the shoulders, fantastic. 3 to go. Just from lifting the baby. It's always good to have a little bit of foundational strength as well. Good work. All right, we're nearing the end of our hard workout as part of this before we get into the abdominals. So we're going to go onto the floor, onto all fours. We're going to be doing a donkey kick, or I also like to call it a Jane Fonda move. Think 80s aerobics Oz style. So we're going to relax through the wrists. If this is hurting, what you can do is come down onto your elbows. That's completely up to you. Or you can be on your hands. Which one would you prefer, Hayley? On your hands. Either way is fine. I want you to keep nice and strong through your back. So I don't want you to let your back collapse. Nice and strong here. The best way to keep this nice and strong, draw that belly button into your spine. Turn your pelvic floor on. So from 0 to 10, you want it at about 5. What we're going to do is drive Hayley's heel up into the air, keeping her knee bent. Perfect. And back down. So where you want to really feel this exercise is right here in the glute. Off you go. So you've got 15 each leg. Try and keep nice and relaxed. Relax through the shoulders, relax through the body, relax through the neck. Breathing out as you lift up, in as you go down. That's perfect. Try and think about your hips as well. Make sure they're neutral and they're not like swinging around or rotating. So nice and strong through here. Perfect. Keeping that heel up, toe down. How's that feel? Good. Awesome. Whereabouts are we?
We're at 12.
Good. Aren't you glad Hayley's here to count? I've got too much talking to do. That's good. So remember, as we get to the end, think about your posture. This is what usually suffers first. All right, now we're going to change onto the other leg. Off you go. Good. What you'll start to feel now is this butt cheek is already a little bit sore. That's because it's been working. And this one's already sore because it was stabilizing. So it's okay for the other glute to be hurting while the other one is working. Perfect. Make sure you're breathing and watch this posture. So perfect posture, strong through the back, drawing the abdominals in. The reason we're doing this one is your glutes do deactivate during pregnancy. Your pelvis does roll forward to become a little cradle for the baby. So you do deactivate your glutes, so it's nice to feel them again. All right, you can have a little stretch out. Perfect. Now we're going to move into the mat work. So we're going to do a lot of work down on the floor here. Coming down onto your back, Hayley. Yeah. So if you have had a cesarean, these are good exercises you can do at the same time. And I'm sure you're glad you can roll onto your back like this. You weren't allowed to do that for a whole 10 months. Isn't it lovely? Okay, so first we're going to test for diastasis recti, which is just separation of your abdominals. It is quite common, so don't be afraid if you do have separation. It's not a problem at all. Working the core rather than the abdominals as such will bring them back together, and then you'll be able to work on your abdominals to get that fantastic six-pack I know you're after. So when we're testing, what I want Hayley to do is come up into a crunch. So your traditional crunch, and she's going to hold. What we're looking for here is you've got 2 train tracks of abdominals. Think about your six-pack, that's where they are. What I want you to do is put your finger in between those train tracks. If the gap is about a finger width apart, that's perfect. If it's more than 2, you've got some separation. So test above the belly button, usually quite tight. Test below the belly button as well. Hayley's got perfect. You can relax now. She's got perfect, there's no separation there, but it is quite common, and if it does happen, do not worry. These exercises will help bring it back together. Our first exercise is diaphragmatic breathing. So it just means breathing through your diaphragm and really working the deep abdominal muscles. So what I want Hayley to do is bring her hands onto her belly. So your diaphragm's quite low, and it's also called belly breathing as well. So just think about that. As she breathes in, I want her to really inhale, feel her hands move apart. As she breathes out, really push through, feel your hands come together. Do this for a series of breaths. Good. Where you should start to feel it is deep in the abdominals. Where are you feeling it, Hayley?
Yeah, in the abdominals.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like the most basic, easy core exercise you can do. So I want you to keep going for at least 10 breaths. Can you see Hayley's hands moving? They're opening and closing, and that's perfect. So just remember, if you are struggling and you are quite tired after having the baby, do not worry that you're not getting into straight out workouts straight away. You can relax into it. Remember, it took you 10 months to get where you are now, and you have given birth to a child, which is a miracle in itself. So just relax and you will get there again. One to go. Fantastic. Okay, just relax there. Our next exercise we're going to do is a Kegel, which is just like a pelvic floor squeeze. So you're not really going to see much on Hayley here, but I will talk you through it. So what I want you to think about is, say if you were to, I'm not suggesting that you should, but if you were to go to the toilet and you were to stop your urine midstream, that's the kind of feeling you have without using your bum cheeks. So just using your pelvic floor, working to close up there. What I want Hayley to think about is climbing up the ladder. So the ladder has 10 rungs on it. I want her to reach rung number 5 as a maximum and then come back down. So she's going to come up to 1, up to 2, up to 3, up to 4, up to 5, squeeze, then relax. And again. That's fantastic. And relax. So I want you to do about 5 or 6 of these, and this exercise you can do all day long. Think about it. Another good tip is to have, if you have a drink bottle near you, whenever you look at your drink bottle, do a bit of a Kegel squeeze. Feel it working. A lot of my clients, if they've had a baby or not, just females in general, I recommend doing a lot of pelvic floor work. Perfect. How's that feel? Yeah, it's hard. Be wary with this one, especially if you've just had your baby and you're a little bit tender. Just leave it for a couple of weeks and then try again, see how you go. All right, next one we're going to do is the pelvic lift, pelvic tilt. So what we're going to do is tilt the pelvis. So what I want Hayley to do, and for you at home, is to turn that pelvic floor on. So get up to number 5 on the rung of the ladder. Then all we're going to do is literally tilt your pelvis. Good. And relax. And then we're going to keep going. So I want at least 15 of these. Perfect. So I want you to breathe in as you go down, breathe out as you come up. And this one you should start to feel a bit of movement in your pelvic floor. Feel it moving and feel it tensing, feel it working as well. Can you feel it working? Good. These are fantastic exercises just after giving birth. They definitely help tone, bring everything back into place. Because we do want to work those mummy muscles after you've had a baby. That's good. So remember, try not to squeeze your bum too much. So try and keep your glutes quite relaxed so you actually know that you're working your pelvic floor. What you can do as a bit of a progression, as you come up with your pelvic tilt, you can lift your head off the floor. So it's not a crunch, it's purely just lifting your head, that's it, and back down. And you'll start to feel this all the way through your abdominals. Can you feel that? Mm-hmm. It's a good one. Mm-hmm. Good. So make sure you're breathing, make sure you're relaxing through your shoulders. A lot of time you do hold a lot of tension in your shoulders, so it's good just to relax through there. 3 to go. Beautiful. Just 2 more. That's perfect. So really notice Hayley's moving her pelvis, so I want you to be moving yours as well. Good. All right, this time what we're going to do is just going to progress a little bit and we're going to lift up. So Hayley's going to lift, do a tilt. So keep your feet on the ground, do a tilt and lift her bum up nice and high. So what I want is from your knee to your shoulder to be virtually a straight line and back down again. So you're just going to go up and down with these ones. Known as bridges, also pelvic lifts as well. So remember thinking about your pelvis, rolling it up. Good. As you come down, I want you to try and unroll your spine. So you've got like one vertebrae touching the mat at a time, lifting up, rolling off one vertebrae at a time, coming down, rolling back down. One, it's a nice little massage for your spine, but also gets your spine moving again, gets it moving in ways it wasn't moving while you were pregnant, so it's also a nice feeling as well. Good. Make sure you breathe. Concentrate on turning your pelvic floor on and drawing your belly button into your spine. How are you feeling there?
Yeah.
It can be quite a hard workout when you've just come back.
It sure is.
Especially if you haven't done a lot of work while you were pregnant, which is fine. You know, you give yourself 10 months off, that's not a problem, but jump back straight back into it. That's good. You're up to 10? So let's just do 5 more. I think that sounds like a good idea. Think about putting your weight through your heel, really driving the weight through. If you're feeling this in your knees, just make sure your knees are in line with your toes. They're not in and they're not out. If you want a little bit extra, you can put the medicine ball between your legs and squeeze. It'll give you a nice little work on the inner thigh as well. 1 more to go. Okay, our next one's a real core exercise. So just bring your knees a little bit closer together and your feet. That's it. And all we're going to do is slide one leg down to the ground. Good. And then bring it back up again. Perfect. And change sides. That's perfect. So what I want you to think about when you're doing this one, we're going to do 15 on each leg, by the way, is think about drawing that pelvic floor on, drawing that belly button into your spine again, and working your abdominals. So you're feeling this one in the lower abdominals? Yeah? Good.
Yeah.
You can tell me if you don't.
Yeah, no, I am.
Good. So really feel it in your lower abdominals. It's not so much of a crunch work, but it's a lot of core work, which is the deep muscles, your transverse abdominis, and that is like your corset around your middle of your body. And that's what's going to bring those abdominals back in. It's going to help work that pelvic floor. It's just going to make you feel back to where you were again. You can really feel it. If it's getting a bit too much, that's fine. Just relax, do as many as you can. Build on it. So next time try for 12 if you only got 11. Next workout, try for 13. Things like that. Good. Relax through the shoulders and make sure you're breathing. Halfway? All right, we've got another 15 to go. I'm just going to keep talking because that is what I do best. But once again, thinking about if you are quite tired, that is fine. Do as much as you can. Try not to strain yourself. You've only just given birth to a child. If you had a cesarean, it's probably good to even wait to 6 weeks until you try these exercises. But the ones on the floor should be fine to do after a few weeks, after you're feeling your healing is really working. So that's good. How are we going now? Number 10, 5 to go. Perfect. Drive through your heel. That's it, lifting back up. Perfect. That is so good. So remember, if you need to have a break, you have one. That's fine. Perfect. From here, what we're going to do is lift that bum up into your bridge again, and we're just going to try and lift one leg. How does that work? Good. And bend that knee again. That's it, and change legs. This is quite an advanced exercise, so try and work up to this one. I want you to think about the same tips that we had for the bridge. So I only want you to do 5 on each side of this one. Same as what we had on the bridge or the pelvic lift. Turning that pelvic floor on, belly button into your spine, weight through your heels. Perfect. One big tip is to watch your hips. Hayley's doing a fantastic job with her stability of her hips right now, but Hayley's quite a trained athlete as well. So what I want you to think about, what can happen is you can dip through your hips. So from here you might dip down. So really turn that glute on, lift up, pelvic floor on and really feel it through the pelvis so you're nice and flat there. Good. Fantastic. How are you feeling?
I'm tired. Getting
Tired? Tired? All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stand up. We've got a little bit of a different exercise this time. Good. We're going to do an active posture check. So Hayley's going to be side on for me. But if you're at home, I recommend standing up against a wall. So what I want her to be is imagine there's a wall right behind her. Head back. So just chin down. Perfect. Shoulders back. Shoulders down. So if you're at home, your shoulders and your glutes should be touching the wall. That's all. Oh, and the back of your head as well. So you've got your head on the wall, your shoulders on the wall, your glutes on the wall. In the meantime, you've got these natural curves to your spine. So you're curving through your cervical spine, through the neck here. Out comes your thoracic, which is where your shoulder blades are, and that's what's touching the wall. In comes your lumbar spine, so the natural curves I'm speaking about, coming out onto your sacrum and your pelvis into your glutes. As we come down, trying to make sure that you've got your hips are in line with your feet. Perfect. And that we're straight down. So when you're here, I want you to really concentrate on getting everything touching the wall where it's meant to. So at least you know this is your perfect posture. This is where you want to be. Turning your pelvic floor on, bringing that belly button in. Just holding this up against the wall should be a little bit of a workout for you. Can you feel that? Yeah. Just thinking about perfect posture is an absolute workout just to get those muscles working and back in place again. You need to remember as you gave birth, especially if you had a vaginal birth, but in any case, you did have a hormone release called relaxin, which was designed to unfuse your pelvis, but also made all your joints more flexible. So chances are they haven't quite got back together the way they should. So it is good to have a little bit of assessment of your own posture. See if your hips are in line. See if both your anterior spines here, your little hip bones, see if they're both in line. They might not be. One leg might be shorter than the other, things like that. So it's good to have a look through there. Just working these lower abdominals is a fantastic workout for your abdominals as well. That's good. Coming through, making sure your glutes are activating. So you are getting a little bit of a stick out with your bum, because what can happen as you have the baby, rolling under, you deactivate your glutes and you lose them as well. So you might have quite a flat bum now, but working those glutes as we were doing before, that will help to build the glutes and activate them again. Perfect, how's that feel? We've had that for a nice few minutes, haven't we? Yeah?
Yes.
That's good. All right, we're gonna come back onto the floor, just getting ready to finish off here. And what I want you to do is really work those muscles. So you can give them more than one workout. So have a roll down, come on down to the floor. Perfect. Just gonna go through the diaphragm breathing again, the belly breathing. So hands onto her belly, big breath in, open those hands apart. Big breath out, bring those hands back together. Perfect. In through the nose, out to the mouth. That's fantastic. Really concentrating on working that belly. So this exercise will actually be in the lower abs, in the deep abdominals, not so much in the superficial. Perfect. Really, you should really be able to start to feel this in your abdominals. Can you feel that?
Yep.
Yeah. It's a lot different movement to the crunch and things like that, whereas you get so much more of a burn, whereas this is more of an endurance exercise. So it's something that's working a muscle that generally works all the time. So you don't want to work it so much as you make it burn, but you will feel it working. Perfect. How many of your breathings have you done?
7.
7?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go for 3 more. I don't think she was counting.
No.
Good. All right, and let's finish off with some Kegels. Give me 15 of those. Remember, you've got your ladder. Starting at number 1, starting at ground floor, going up to rung number 1, and then relaxing. So going up, even think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then relax. This exercise I highly recommend you do all day long, whenever you can. Start on the floor, it's the easiest way to do it. It doesn't put too much pressure. As you feel like you're getting stronger, come up to a seated position and do your Kegels. That way you're working against gravity and you're getting a lot more of a workout. Good, how's that feeling? You should be able to notice a bit of a difference straight away with these. But as I said before, you can do these within 24 hours of giving birth. But just see how you go, assess yourself. If you're feeling tired, if you're feeling sore, that's fine. Leave it for a couple of weeks, then get into it. But I do highly recommend doing this workout as at least one of your first workouts before getting into proper working out before moving on. So after having the baby. Pardon?
3 to go.
3 to go. I wonder if your time is the same as Hayley's. We can't even tell. But she is working there, I can tell. Her face is straining a little bit. Try and relax through the face. Last one. Good. All right, we're going to have a little bit of a stretch now. So our first stretch is Hayley's going to roll onto her belly. She's going to come up onto her elbows and you're just going to let your abdominals hang a little bit. You've done a lot of work in there, so you should feel that this workout has actually worked quite quietly through the abdominals. Can you feel a bit of a stretch there? Good. Relax through the shoulders. You don't have to go up too high. You will still feel the stretch on your elbows. Relaxing through the glutes all the way down. Perfect. Now we're going to come out into a child's pose. So lifting up onto your knees and pushing back. Good, all the way down. Good. This is a fantastic exercise. You do a lot of work, especially breastfeeding. You're quite forwards. So it's a nice exercise to stretch out all through your lats, all through your back, because that does get quite stretched. And pushing through, you will stretch through your chest as well, which does become quite rounded. You're always like this, holding the baby, moving the baby, changing the baby, feeding the baby. So it's good to get those shoulders back. Perfect. All right, coming up onto your knees. Let's have a little bit of a chest stretch. So with this one I like to think of a good vibe stretch. So giving your good vibes to the world and you're giving the world a big hug. Oh, Hayley. So shoulders back, relax through the neck, shoulders down, and feeling it right through the front here. If you want a little bit more, feel free to bring your hands together. Same movement, bring those shoulders back, chest out. Be proud of it. Be proud. It's amazing what you've just been through, so be proud of it. Okay, shoulder stretch. Bring an arm across. This one's particularly from the rows we did. The rows are really good also for bringing your shoulders back. So this one will work the rear delts and also between your shoulder blades of the lower traps and a little bit of the rhomboids as well. Good, and change sides. Perfect. All right, we're going to stand up now. We're going to do a hamstring stretch. So one leg out in front, weight on the bent knee, bum back, chest up. Feel the stretch all through the back of your leg. Breathe through it. So take a big breath in. On the breath out, see if you can come down a little bit lower. Perfect. Let's change sides. So we're only holding these stretches for between 10 and 15 seconds. If you want to work a little bit of flexibility and if you want to keep stretching, that is fine. Hold your stretches for longer. There's no harm in holding your stretches for a little bit longer at all. Okay, we're going to go into a quad stretch. So Hayley's going to bring her knee behind. If you can balance, perfect balance test here. And it's also working your core and pelvic floor as well. Knees together, tucking your bum in, hips forward, relaxing through your shoulders. Perfect. And Hayley's just going to change sides. If you need, hold on to something for support. Good work. So how are you feeling, Hayley?
Yes, I feel worked out.
Yeah. So well done, guys. You have finished your workout for today. This is your 0 to 6 week workout, postnatal. So what we've done today is you've worked. You haven't worked particularly hard as you would have before becoming pregnant, but you have worked Remember, your body's tired, it has gone through a lot, you're probably quite tired, sleep deprivation, things like that. Working your pelvic floor and your core rather than your abdominals is really important. Also learning to reactivate the glutes, really important postnatally. But I hope you've had a good time. Have a drink, have lots of water to recover, and I hope to see you soon on eFit30.com.au.